Good morning, everyone. So today I wanted to pick back up on our the blog stuff, and I wanted to go through the steps. So last time we installed Devise and we got some stuff going, and it's very possible that it's working, but we don't know because we haven't tested it. And so testing this is kind of an integration nightmare, where you have to like combine all these things together. And doing just a simple like does this work is really difficult. You have to put all these pieces together in order to get everything lined up together and actually working, stuff like that. So there's gonna be a bunch of steps to this, but potentially, hopefully, we'll find out if this stuff works. So it's been a while since I've pulled stuff down, so we will get pull origin master, make sure that our Jekyll blog has been fully updated, and then what was it, Jekyll serve, I think, yes, and then we go to 4000 here. We're also pulling up nitrous while we're at it. So we get our blog backend up and running. All right, so what I'm going to do for testing purposes is we're just going to put like a link on the page somewhere. It doesn't really matter where it is, and then we're going to fire it at the actual backend stuff. Okay, so we need to open the blog backend. I'll set that as the root, and we need to go to it, and then we let's just run it. Rails, RAILS, bind it to 0. Okay, and then one of the other things I'm going to do is I'm going to rake routes, and we're going to figure out what routes we have available. I need to be in the right directory, of course. So one of the things when you're running like your Rails server, it's good to run it. Oh, I had this problem earlier. Database configuration could not load. Database configuration. That's a little different. Ruby 2.2 could not, no such file. Config database.yml. Where did it go? That's really strange. Okay, so it is this the same error? Yeah. Time to find the file. We're using Git, so we never actually, we haven't lost anything actually, but we have to find it. So we're gonna find it. Blog, or no, GitHub, and then we need to go repos and find the blog backend. Okay. And we're going to look in the config, and sure enough, it's not there. But what you can do is, I don't have any tags, but we can start looking in the history. So we've got like, how do I find the history of this stuff? So here, commit history. So updating. I know it was here during the subscription feature, right? So we're going to go to, no, I don't want to see that. I want to see diff. I want to actually check it out. Browse this repository at this point in the history. There we go. So if we look in here, oh, sorry, not the app. We want config. Config, we, again, don't have a database file, but... . It's really strange because like how do we even have how do we even have the I guess was it before all this Docker stuff? First deployment. I mean, let's go back all the way, right? All right. We go to config, and now here's our database YML, and that's really strange that that file just disappeared. So I'm gonna add it back. We're gonna copy it here, and then we just paste it in. So we're gonna create a new file. You know, I could go for a while trying to find the exact commit where that got removed and figure out why that happened. But just as easily, I can just add it back. So we will do that. We'll run our rake routes. Hopefully this will work this time now that we have that. But that also means that we do need to run our migrations and get everything up to date. Device secret key was not set. Please add the following to your device initializer. Well, that's in there. It's just not in the initializer, I guess. So here it is. Okay. All right. So what I'm actually first I'm gonna we need to recreate the database. So rake db setup should create the database, migrate it, and seed it. It's very possible that the database is already set up and it's already there, or there could be some more issues. This is very strange. Okay, now we're getting other things. Expecting unexpected comma, expecting a hash thing. Okay, so that's in user.rb. So we're dealing with basically, you know, I set up devise, but I never actually like ran the program to see what was going on and stuff. So it's very possible that some of this stuff is not right. Maybe this needs to be at the end. No. The end. There we go. And it just, you know, it doesn't like the fact that it's on the top there, or maybe it needs to be somewhere else. We could check the config if this is still broken after. But yeah, you know, install when you do a bunch of modifications and install a bunch of stuff. There we go. See, then you know, expect to find problems and just read your error messages. Like I had no idea what was going on. But you scroll up and it tells you like syntax error, and then you just think about things, and it says it's expecting this, you know, hash rocket here, and it's like, well, how do I, you know, how do I set that up? And it just kind of makes sense that like these kind of follow a pattern, and then this guy, you know, it follows a different pattern. So maybe try moving it to the end. You know, just use little like reasoning skills. Just try things. Try something. Don't just, you know, oh, I'm getting an error, and I don't know why why the error is happening. Of course, the alternative is just look it up. So I'm sure somebody else has probably had that exact same error. You know, just Google the error and then the word devise, because you know it has to do with devise somehow, and you'll probably get somebody that had the same issue. So, but yeah, just try things. That's what I see a lot of is people not. You know, they see an error and then they go, I don't know what to do. Well, do something. Just try anything. Try something. That's kind of the art of debugging, is to just do something. Yeah, so we're going to go back up to rake routes. And it should give us a list, hopefully, of all of the routes that we have available. And what I'm looking for is this, like the sign-in, OmniAuth callbacks, user OmniAuth authorize. So users auth, and then so I need to provide the provider, right? So there's a little bit to get this working, and I rewatched one of the other videos, or the other video where I set this stuff up, and I do know that there's going to be a little bit of work to be done, obviously. So so I'll go ahead and run the server over here, and then we'll use this one for our like maintenance tasks. And we need to set up the. I need to go back to the device stuff because I remember seeing some setup instructions for the OAuth, and that's not what I want. Docs. No. Where was that? Like, it was, you scrolled down far enough, right? And then it was like, here it is, OAuth. So then go there, and then that gives me this, here's the Facebook example. And so we need to look at this. I don't remember if we did this, so we need to, if we didn't, we need to add this, definitely. And then I don't know if we have this, and we really just need to start at the kind of like the top-ish. So I know we set this. We haven't put in our app IDs or app secrets yet. I will do that. But we have, after configuration, you need to make your model OmniAuthable. So we need to make sure that this is happening. So we flip over at Nitrous user. We have OmniAuth providers GitHub, which looks like this. That's good. And then we, after making blah, the device will create the following routes. So those are there. Good. So this is kind of what we're looking to do, but the strange thing is we're going to do this in Jekyll. So it's going to be a little crazy because we need to provide this path, which shouldn't be hard since we ran rake routes. We know exactly what that path is. So we're just going to place a button that goes to exactly that path, which is /users /OmniAuth callbacks pass through and to that. But I think there's one more piece of the puzzle that I'm missing, and it's possibly this thing here. And some of this. Although I do remember doing this, but I think I forgot to replace one of the words when I was watching it again. So we need to go do that. What file is this in? Oh yeah, it's in the users folder under controllers, users, OmniAuth callbacks, yeah, and then Facebook. So okay. So basically what needs to happen is on this page we need to place a link to that. So we're just, really simple, right? I'm just going to throw it on the page somewhere. It doesn't even have to look good. It just needs to be there somewhere. So I'm going to put it like right at the top. And I'm going to make it for now I'm going to make it a full link. It's just let's go right to it. Let's navigate right to it because it is a GET request, right? We've got it's GET or POST. Okay, so this is essentially the path that we're looking to call. So href, and paste that in there, and then we need to have it go to our testing. That's right, change because I switched. I redid my nitrous box, so it looks slightly different, or has a different name. Then that's why. And so we're going to preview port 3000. Missing secret token, secret key base for development environment. Set values. Deleted that file, didn't I? Yeah. Okay, so anytime you deal with security stuff, like there's certain things that like shouldn't be seen by the world when you're working on these videos and stuff like that. So I have to make decisions about what am I showing, what am I not showing, what's safe, what's not safe, what am I gonna do here and there, and sometimes it can cause some issues. And try me. Well, I guess sign in, right? Log in. Okay. So, anyways, when I do that, you have to like ignore the files so that when you check them into a public repository, like they see your code, but they don't actually see the secret keys that can give people malicious access to, your projects and potentially be able to get past some of the security measures and features and stuff. So the goal is, you want to keep that stuff private and keep that stuff secret. But when you do that, you hide files and you remove files, and then like I said, I had to reinstall this box, and so those files aren't there because they're not in the repository to pull down. So I'm going to get what's one of the advantages, I guess, is I still have the development stuff saved in Git from back when, and it's fine to show the development stuff. I mean, you guys can't access my computer at home, so it's perfectly fine for you guys to see that stuff. It's just the production ones you want to hide. So we'll go back to that, and 19 commits. We can go all the way back to the initial commit because that's I didn't change it besides that. So we're gonna browse the files, and we'll go into config, and we'll look at our secrets YML, and we can just copy it in raw. It's always best to go raw because then you can just copy all. It's really simple. So back over to Nitrous, and we need to create a config, new file, secrets YML, and then just paste it in. So really super simple. I believe that was secrets, yeah, plural. Okay, good. So that should be good now, and we'll probably have to restart. So flip over here, Control C, and then run the Rails server again, and then wait a couple seconds for it to kind of boot up, and then you should be able to run it again. If you get this message, obviously just keep waiting. And here now we actually have a running application. So good, we have a real API running. Great. So we run this, and this is trying to hook up to actual production, but I have the core security set that only my actual domain, snarechops.github.io, only that domain has access to it. So all of these are getting errors in the request going, you're not allowed, access control, allow origin was not valid, or has a value of this, and you're not that, so you're not allowed access. So again, it's just kind of protecting myself against people like trying to up my hit counters incredibly. Keep like okay, but we do now have this login button, so we'll give it a shot. Just click on it, and 440. We also didn't post in the keys and stuff. So let's see how far I can go before I have to like pull it off the screen. And see, I haven't written an API or whatever for this. Let's see. Developer program, developer site, applications. Or is that just? These are applications you've registered. How? I want the OAuth stuff. Personal access tokens function like ordinary OAuth tokens. They can be used instead of password for Git over HTTPS, or can be used to authenticate. So it's probably this, right? So let me just see what happens. Generate a new key. Yes, this is fine. Let's see. Scopes limit access. Read more about OAuth scopes. Personal access tokens function like ordinary OAuth access tokens. They can be used instead of a password for. I don't know if this is what I want because this is a personal access token, and what I want is let's OAuth GitHub. We'll see. Like maybe there's a aha. Okay, here we go. So yeah, cool. I'm looking for the API keys and tokens and like the link. Like, hey, here you go. Use the access token to. The access token allows you to make requests to the API on behalf of a user. You can pass the token query parameter shown above. Non-web application flow. Use basic authentication to create an OAuth 2 token using the interface below. With this technique, username and password will need not be stored permanently, and the user can revoke access at any time. Make sure to understand how to work with two-factor authentication if you or your users have two-factor authentications. Okay. So Scopes let you specify exactly what type of access you need. Scopes limit access for OAuth tokens. They do not grant any additional permission beyond that which the user already has. For the Webflow, requested scopes will be displayed to the user on the authorized form. Click check headers to see what OAuth scopes you have and what API action accepts. So I'm really just grants read-write access to the profile info only. Note that this scope includes user email and user follow. So I'm not looking for much. It's really just, I need some way to track people. Public information includes public user, profile info, public repository info, and GIS. It's probably fine that I use like no scopes. I don't really need. I don't think I need email and user follow. If I do, I can up it a little bit maybe, and but I don't think that I'm going to need that much access. So I'm going to flip back over and I'm going to go down that path. Yeah, so I'm here at the scopes thing. Select scopes. No. Token description. This is for grumbling bugs. And generate token, which then spits out a token thing for me. Oh, and then I'm flipping back over to Nitrous, and I am pulling in, or I'm going to paste it into the initialize, devise initialize. Was that where it was? I think that is. Or is it in application? Oh, no, it is in initialize. So app ID. Well, that's. Hold on. Maybe it's not a personal access token. Let me try this one. Register a new application. Okay. I think this is it. So this is fine. So it's basically just something users will recognize and trust. So grumbling bugs. Homepage URL. Application description. can pull that, right? So we just go to the actual thing, and we can just pull that down here, right? We'll just go with that. So we'll just throw that in here as the description and the callback URL, your application's callback URL. Read the OAuth documentation for more information. So our callback URL is going to be whatever the production is. Actually, let me read some more. All information received by Facebook by OAuth is available at hash. GitHub access. Normalize scopes. Use the access token. I guess we're just gonna point it back. We're just gonna do a shot, you know. So, it's gonna be what was it? HTTP videos quarantine com 8080. And then what was it? It was users auth, and I guess it'll pick back up from that or something. I'm not sure. Probably. We'll pass it that, and it'll either work or it won't work, right? So, get rid of the double slash, and we'll register the application. Okay, so now we need to post in the post the stuff into Nitrous, right? So we just go app ID and then app secret. And then we save that, and then okay. So what was it? Localhost 4000. 4,000, I think. Yeah. Okay, so then we click login, and I probably need to restart the console or the Rails server. So we'll stop it, and then we will rerun it. And then we will click login. Page you're looking for doesn't exist. Redirect URI must match the registered callback. Redirect URI must match the registered callback. What's the full description? Redirect URI must match URI mismatch error description. The redirect URI must match the registered callback URL for this application. Error URI. Okay, so it actually like called back. That kind of makes sense. I see why we're having a 404 as well. Okay. That makes sense. It needs to go back where it came from, obviously. But it, well, it isn't though. It is, but it isn't. Because this actually went to production. So it went from testing to production. So probably what we need to do is create a test one. So let me see if I can edit the one, and we'll use that as our test. We'll use that as our test. Test thing. Yeah, that thing. So the callback URL will be, I don't know, can I call back to localhost? Maybe, hopefully. Except it's not localhost. It's not. It's this. So update. Okay. And then we'll flip back over here and we will run. No, we don't need to restart or rerun. We go here, go back, we'll refresh just for good cause, good measure. And then we'll log in and what happened here? I'm pretty sure I pasted that in right? Ah, I do have issue. Okay. Update the application. Login. Authorize application. Public data only. That's all I need. Authorize. Undefined method from OmniAuth. Wait a minute. Oh, I think I know part of the missing piece. So in rake routes, it has this cryptic action and callback. That makes sense now. In our controller, we have our action being GitHub. So the callback should be users auth GitHub callback. So that makes sense. So then we flip back over here again. You know, a lot of this stuff is getting these things to line up. GitHub call back. Update application. Apparently I have one user. Me. Okay, so we come back, right? And we're going to go all the way back. We're going to refresh for good measure. Hit login. And undefined method from OmniAuth. Where did it try to go? GitHub callback. Undefined method from OmniAuth for class. User.from. You're right. I think I saw that in the guide somewhere. OmniAuth, callbacks, I don't know. Sign in, device 4, users. Here, self.from OmniAuth. After the controller is defined, we need to implement the from OmniAuth. We didn't do this. So this is the problem. So we can copy this out and we can paste this into our user object. Models, user, self.from OmniAuth, where provider, auth provider, blah, first or create, email, auth info email, password, device friendly token, name, assuming the user model has a name, image, assuming the user model has an image. That'd be great to have. The name and the image would be fantastic. Then I could show, like, you know, if you made a comment on the site, then it would show like who made the comment, stuff like that. So this method tries to find an existing user by the provider and UID file to know if it's when it's created. Note that the first automatically sets provider and UID. Okay. We'll notice that blah. Notice that device registrations controller by default calls user.new with session before building resource. That means if we need to copy data from session whenever a user is initialized before signup, we just need to implement new with session in our model. Here's an example that copies the Facebook email if available. Okay. And then logout links. And I probably want to get into this too. If you're only using OmniAuth authentication, you need to find a route, new user session. If not, root will be used. So I probably want to go down this path, but I'm just trying to get this so far, you know, just get this stuff working. And it's all looking so good. So it's all, oh my God, it's all looking good so far. You know, we're actually hitting the real GitHub OmniAuth stuff. I'm hitting the real page, and then it's saying undefined method name for user. Why? How? Does it really not have a name? I thought the user model would have a name. Let's look at best place to see what you have on your models is inside your database folder and schema. And then you can go right to your user object. We have email. It's right, we don't have a name. We don't have a name or an image. So we need to add one. So we're gonna Rails generate migration, add name and image to user, and they should both be strings, I'm assuming. So, all right, so it creates the migration file, and then we just do add column users, call it name, and it is a string, and then we'll add a column to users called image, and that's a string as well. Run that, and then we need to rake db migrate. So we're getting so close. We're getting like, it's actually starting to like log me in correctly and actually, you know, make it official that I'm, you know, part of this, and I should actually be able to pull myself out of the database even. So we're almost there. So I got sent back, and it looks like I got sent back to kind of the URL that I wanted, which is good. This is what I'm gonna check now is, let's actually look in the database. So Rails console, which I'm running the server. I don't know, can I run the server and the console together? We'll see. And so I want to run user all, and I should see snaretops at yahoo.com, encrypted password, reset, remember at blah blah blah. What else did I get? Name Scott Robinson, and image avatars GitHub user content.com / whatever. This is great. This is fantastic. This is exactly what we want. This is, you know, look, I didn't log in. I didn't type a username. I didn't type a password of any kind. It just worked. And the other thing that I'd like to figure out is, what did I get back in my network request? So if I log in and I look at my network, when I got, I'm basically looking for cookies. What types of, I did get a session. Yeah, I got a session. Well, I've had a session. But potentially I have some useful information in the session that I can use, you know, to see if someone's authenticated or not. And then basically, you know, pull out their user ID or something from the because there should be a current user or something, right? I believe so. And then, you know, inside the API methods, I can say, you know, if you were to post a comment or something, then it would pick up the user that actually made that comment, and then it would save the comment to that user, and now there's comment tracking and stuff like that. So really simple way. All I did was you know, all anybody would have to do is just click the login button, and they'll get forwarded right through, fully authenticated. And there's still going to be a lot of work to do in this UI. I mean, just and getting things to link together. Because currently, I mean, like, you click this button here, and then it sends you to my server, and the server sends you to GitHub, which then comes back to the server, and then what? The server needs to send you back to here. So I'm also kind of curious if any of that could happen in Ajax. And that might be kind of interesting, but we don't want it. See, that's part of the thing. Like, you, oh, I have a thought too. Cool. Okay, so my thought is, basically, when you click on the button, it's going to bring up a small window, like not a separate tab, but like a small window, and then you interact with it in that, and then the index page of Ruby on Rails is, you know, awesome. You've signed in to Grumbling Bugs. You may now close this window. And then, you know, you close the window there, and then now you're authenticated in here. And I'd probably also want to do some sort of refresh or something like that. Yeah, I'll figure it all out. And probably you guys will get to see it. So thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time.